I started coming to your mom.
Yeah.
When it was, you can't see the sweat runs down the glass.
It's still so hot. I mean, it was butter.
Yeah, he's not the.
Storms.
And what?
Yeah. This morning, this kind of messing us so far. I don't know. Second reading.
Who's the weather watcher in here? True Gilmer? True Gilmer, you the weather watcher?
Yeah, it hasn't reached yet.
It hasn't? Well, when it storms, it's like from north Toledo.
All north of.
That's great, all of north
You mute
Toledo.
people, they're talking. Somebody's talking on there. I don't know. You probably can't mute them until you join though, can
No,
you?
the crops look beautiful. We don't need any.
Still wanting to know more. And
How are you, Marcy?
so I had no other.
Good.
Surviving.
Yeah, you just keep it going, don't you?
Come on,
Trust me, Jack. So you
Don't
get a nice blue print, I like that, that's really pretty.
Okay.
Well, the bar,
And this kind of thing is, this kind of thing, when you get it done, or it's something that doesn't.
it's really good to see, Jack.
You know, it is.
Up on
You
2
know,
feet,
that
like
maybe
the
it's
rest of
something
us.
that, you know, you guys, I'm trying to think what you did way back when, it's been a couple of years, so, but no, we're not.
Sure, all the sheriffs, just so you know, all the sheriffs in Iowa. Are very upset, this is happy.
Give my questions yesterday.
Please grab this.
What's that? Did you get my questions yesterday?
By the horns.
Your question. I think I sent it sometime in the night, like around 2:30 or. To my county phone. I did not get it. To the county email? Yeah.
Okay.
I did not.
Pretty sure.
Let me know.
So there's another one that just came up last.
Yeah, I don't have anything.
I'll reply to your, last,
Yeah, that was
Here,
last
last
week.
same thing.
So.
Good thing you let me know.
Yeah. Cause
Mark, did you want
sometimes
papers? You
my
just didn't
talk
want
about
that.
the.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
Yeah.
Okay, Don.
You can always text me too.
Yeah.
My county number's out, they can always text me, hey, I just sent you something if you're not sure
That
too.
includes marijuana.
Okay, will do.
So when you put somebody for marijuana now, we can't get them released. That means we have to pay. And because our jail is small, we.
Oh, yeah.
Every jail in all of Iowa. So now there's. but
Mike, I'm sure I'm allergic to dogs, I'm coughing.
that's focused down.
Oh, well, maybe not. Did you spray her with perfume? Somebody's brother today.
Well, she sneezes too, maybe she's allergic to you.
I know, right? No, perfume that's in here. You know, Kurt Gilbert, you never say anything unless you're laughing at me.
It's kind of.
You agree.
No. They're full of shoulder. But I have lots of days, if they're full of
And they don't
shoulders.
sell them.
Then.
Kurt Gilbert probably has perfume. No, it's Mark Gilbert, he's got perfume on.
It smells good.
He did it just for me.
Because he's sitting next to you.
And then they use that as a base and a 6 by 4 basketball, so I think.
Good morning, Mark.
But look, like, stuff here.
When are you gonna move?
Yes, I think November is still an open date.
You announced it last week.
I was driving out.
You announced it last week.
Based on the weather reports today, I
It's
just.
gonna be nice when it's done, but.
Yeah, honestly.
Yeah.
Hi, Jack.
When do you think you're gonna move?
That'll be a little bit.
Oh, I better be aware.
How are you?
Good, are you?
Okay.
Stay in Tama County.
Good to see you.
Spending the day out here today.
Yeah, that sounds great.
No, you're gonna keep
This is,
that
well,
here.
public.
Oh, up God's country.
We introducing.
No, tell
Our
them.
public comments would be great.
Thank you, Aaron.
Because you want to-
So, no problem at all.
Colossians 3:9. I know another thing you put on the old man. You just told a lie. Knock it off.
Okay.
Can't move the dice.
How do you know?
Yeah, Reese looking to you.
Yeah.
His motorcycle's in my garage.
Oh, gosh.
You're talking.
Once you get it done, throw it back. No.
Back there on door.
Yeah, you're holding good.
We're good.
It was kind of a nice one to look at.
1, 2.
Oh, did you? Oh, yeah. No, did you? No.
There you go.
In Des Moines, okay, very good. You guys are meeting in Toledo.
Yeah, we have a couple. And I told her, I said, this is a very robust meeting.
She did say that.
I did.
She did.
Tell everybody that.
It isn't now that Mark's not chair, because we want to get out of here in a half an hour.
Oh.
I'm just a fishing, just.
Oh, sorry.
That's how you're fishing.
It was kind of robust
So
last.
did you pack our
Well,
lunch?
I to the hill.
Heather, did you pack our lunch?
I don't. What do you want?
Not 30 below.
Wrong name there, Karen.
No, I was half right.
Okay, let's go ahead and stand for the pledge of allegiance. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Welcome, everybody. Hope you had a good weekend. We have all 5 board members present, so we have a quorum. First item is to approve the agenda.
So move. Second.
Motion and second. All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. Next item is public comments. If anybody would like to speak, just raise your hand. I know, we got a lot today. Go ahead.
Age, if you do it by age, then you'd have to respect your elders and it would be my first.
You're right. Got here, and second.
Finally, somebody's in here older than me.
Yep. Go ahead, Karen.
Okay, I think that an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure, how that's the way I was raised. So why can't Tama County, be a little bit more, astute and prompt on getting rid of horrible weeds and ditches that are now going up into waterways, fields, the fence lines that are left and around every single place that can't be mowed? Why do we have to wait until the weeds are such a problem that there's just, that they are choking out the pastures and the grass and the hayfield and the alfalfa? I mean, we are such a, somebody back here just said robust. We are such a, on the move county. Why do we have to have weeds everywhere? I know this isn't the first time this year, but why can't we start? Why can't we just doing the right thing? Because it would, why can't we clean up the county? It's just such a mess. And the stupid things are now gonna seed out or are seeding out. And you can't hardly tell that because they're so covered with dirt and dust, but that's fine. That doesn't keep the seeds from going everywhere. So every year, I'm telling you, as a farmer, which Mike said we are all farmers, every year it's just gonna be worse and worse and worse. But even now, it's unbelievable how much they have gone right up the waterways in all the fields. And they didn't used to be in northern Tama County in God's country, but they are up there now too. So that's my ongoing comment is, I just wish we could. An ounce of prevention will be worth a pound and pound of cure. The roads are gonna be a mess from all the heavy traffic, but we can't do anything about that. However, we could do something about mowing and spraying. Thank you.
Thanks, Karen. Okay.
Well, I'm going to address that first, but first of all, I want to make the comment that we, the people, the public, are pretty quick to bring complaints and problems forward. However, I find that we're not so good at saying, giving compliments and saying thank you. So on that respect, I want to thank Kurt and all of you and the road crew for the fine job that you did taking care of the culvert problem at my place. I appreciate that very much. And it was done promptly and efficiently, and I want to say thank you for that, for me and my family. Appreciate it. Regarding what she just said, I also wanted to say that I appreciate the fact that the roads have not been mowed around where I drive anyway, and I like the beauty of the nature and the wildflowers and things that are growing. Concerning the weeds, we mow our own waterways and things like that, so we don't really have a problem. And I just like it, and I think it's nice that it's there for everybody to enjoy, including the wildlife and the bees and the pollination and all that stuff. So again, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I grew up down with Senator Grassley's office out of Cedar Rapids. And, I always enjoy coming to your meetings here. I speak at them whenever I go anyplace else too, but, just as a reminder, what we do in the office, as I was walking with my friend, by the way, over here from Senator Ernst's office, Brenda Sobransky, Guild. So, casework for our veterans. People, I was talking to someone actually last week who's running for office somewhere. I said, do you actually know what we do in our offices? So we get phone calls regarding our social security. Our veterans are, so important to us. IRS, if you have anyone that comes to you, and again, I would like to remind, have them just call our office, even if it may not be something we can address, we can at least, give a resource or at least try to find a resource for you. So, and then I'm on the road for Senator Grassley and county's team. That's one of my counties, and we're spending the day here today. So thank you all.
That's great, thank you. All right, any other public comments or anything to add?
I just, since I've been sitting next to Kurt, I think you can take these, so if I could move over there. No, me and Kurt.
Welcome.
We're fine over here.
Dave's
Get over there.
Dave's got a head full of hair 20 years.
Yeah, that's funny.
We go wrong.
All right. Okay, let's go ahead and close public comments. Next item, discuss approve 1726 regular minutes.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
All right, motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Engineer road projects report.
Okay. District 1, doing some ditching, finishing up, probably today or tomorrow, depending on what the weather does on 360th. Started a small ditching project, 310th east of Pete. I checked that out over the week, or last week I seen he was over there, so I checked it. No, I drove by that this morning, sorry. And then, that's gonna go to 270th, that's between R and S. And then we're moving some equipment around today. We're gonna raise an intersection on V Avenue that was, it didn't get an approach when we paved E66, so we're having some semi trouble pulling off the road and stuff there. So we're gonna raise that like it should have been done. That's where they tipped over that dump truck. I don't know if you guys remember that when Axe did. So, our guys are gonna raise that and then just re-rock it. So when you come up to it, it's gonna be set up above and then the semis continue. So we'd already talked to intermittent Nick about it when he was here. So we got a good plan there. We're gonna work on some water crossing. 240th Street, Northwest Frontier, which is collapsed. We're gonna work on that here coming up. We'll start tearing it out and then assess what we really need to do there. Can't see with all the concrete that's just fell in, so. And then last week, District 1 hauled 942 tons of rock to Genesee, Columbia, Otter Creek, and Ridgeland Townships. And then the regular continuing maintenance. So that was District 1. And then on the brush guys, they're cutting brush on V18, which I seen that last week in my travels, doing a good job there. As long as I'll make sure that we're getting it sprayed and everything afterwards, so. And then they got 373rd out from M to Columbia Wildlife, which that was a problem, so we got that done.
Yep.
And then, we're gonna be sending a bigger tractor over to the avenue north of 30. Oh, there's some trees that we can't reach, so we got a bigger tractor. We're gonna send that over there so they can reach some of them and clean that mess up. And then over on District 2, the F Avenue is completed. And then he's got trucks spot rocking, Gladbrook, done with the mower. Going to Lincoln Shed next, and then Denzel will be done this week, probably Wednesday. I know they were working on putting the shouldering machine on 927 last week, so they're getting ready to do some shouldering here and there, so. I can find out which roads we're doing that if you guys would like. And then, just fixing bridge approaches and washouts and highways that need attention. So that's what I got this week for the road report for last week, then partially into this week, so. Everything out there seems to be looking pretty good in my eyes, so.
Okay, when is the E29 fix? It sounds like it's still embargoed for another month, but I didn't know if it's a week or 2
We
weeks.
embargoed it for another couple,
Yeah,
3 weeks or whatever, just to get the ball rolling on
Right.
it. So I told them to get the ball rolling on it, but there might be some under structural damage to that bridge, so we gotta look into that.
okay.
It would basically are we looking at a back wall replacement?
I don't know yet.
You don't,
I haven't heard. I just said last week when I was down there, so we need to look and make sure, because that stuff, material going somewhere,
Mhm.
so
Mhm.
I haven't got an update on that yet. That's kind of that in a nutshell. So I told him, I said, well, if we can't do the top, if we're not gonna fix the problem.
Exactly.
You wasted money.
Yep.
Okay, and we're still waiting on the DOT to confirm if they did enough loads that we would get.
Still, I think he's still working on that, but I'll find out more about all that today when I get there.
Sounds good.
I was gone a couple days towards the end of the week, so I didn't get to talk with him.
Anything else for roads from anybody? Good, okay. Next item, discussion, possible action, resolution 7-20-2026A for amended 28E agreement, Central Iowa Detention Center. I'll give this to David for the floor.
So I'm gonna make a motion that we approve resolution 7-20-2026A for amended 28E agreement with the Central Iowa Detention Center. Second.
Motion second, any discussion?
Yes, so we've already gone through this before. Us and Boone County were the only ones who acted immediately. There was a couple of changes that have been made, and so this is the final product. And the resolution will give the authority for me to sign up there on Friday, the entire document for that page, where it has all the county signatures. So that's what the resolution, that's part of what the resolution does. So in my motion, I just wanted to make sure I authorized the chair to sign the resolution, so whoever seconded that. That's Mark, you still good with that too? Okay.
Okay,
Again, we've already gone through this, but there's been only minor changes, like paragraph numbers and stuff like that.
your typical, everybody needs to agree to it, so there's a
Yes.
couple changes.
Right, and everybody has to agree to it before we can sign it,
That's right.
every county, so,
That's right.
So they're all agreed to it now.
yeah, well, they're doing it this week or last week, so we can sign it this Friday.
Gotcha.
Okay, anything else for discussion? Roll call?
Homer,
Aye.
Turner,
Aye.
Knobel,
Aye.
Dolan,
Aye.
Krupka.
Alright,
Okay, motion carries. Next item, discussion possible action on utility permit for, Nicole Jardine, Alliant Energy. Like Nick took a look at this.
Yeah.
Signed off on it already.
looks like they're doing the rebuild in the cities. This one here is McDonald. I would make a motion that we set the utility permit for Reliant Energy from Nicole.
I'll second that.
Okay, motion in a second. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Next item, discussion possible action on utility permit for Alliant Energy.
Yeah, same thing here. We're doing a rebuild of Chelsea, it looks like. I would make that motion, we accept this.
I'll second. Good, did you beat me? No, I think you started through. Why don't you give it to, for each use back?
Okay, Homer second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
Can I make a quick comment here? I have received a few phone calls about, hey, it looks like they're putting in a lot of new lines. We know they're updating the grid, so that's what's going on. They're fixing all the stuff necessary for our county to continue to function, so it's a good thing.
Next item, discussion possible action to approve Dizer law enforcement contract. We did all the other cities last time. I think Dizer didn't, I can't remember if there's another one, but at least Dizer we didn't have last time, so.
Motion to approve and authorize the chair to sign.
I'll second.
Okay, motion in a second. All in favor, say aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Next item. Discussion possible action to retain Region 6 on the comprehensive land use plan. So I put this on there. I know the zoning commission, last time we thought maybe some legislation would happen that would eliminate the need. It's still kind of I don't know how you want to word it, but it's highly suggested you do it, or kind of it's good to do, but then there's other codes that say that you do need to follow the comprehensive land use plan that's in Iowa Code 18B. So they've been doing the best they can to work on it, as well as the wind ordinance. It just would be good to get them some help, is what I'm understanding. You know, it's a lot of things that usually it's contracted out. As well as they have other ordinances they need to be working on that, you know, we have tooled up for them as well. I had let them know what zoning already had done. They've already done like a survey, and some things are already done. Their price came back actually higher than when we quoted them last time. I think it was 15,000 before. Now it's at 17,500. But again, that's kind of the maximum. It's not to exceed that, but it's $100 an hour. That's what they charge, and they kind of have a plan out there. It may move out a little bit. He said instead of August, it would probably be September, but I guess next steps, we can either approve it today knowing it's $100 an hour, or we can wait. I know Marty's on vacation till the end of the month, and then him and our zoning administrator are gonna meet to discuss where we're exactly at, because I think he missed some of those items that we've already done. If we don't need to redo them, it could be less. Ultimately, it's still the $100 an hour. It just would be, do we want to approve it with that not to exceed 17,500, or do we want to give it till early August and then approve it, or we don't have to approve it? I mean, whatever you guys think, but it's ultimately like, you know, there's housing studies out there. There's the things that they compile and put it together and facilitate. They would still work with our zoning. It's not like they'll just take it on their own. There'll be public meetings, you know, things like that. But, yeah, let me know what you guys would like to do. We can either take no action and wait till then, or we can approve or not approve, whatever you guys want to do.
My thought is on it, I've done quite a bit of research on it when this first came to us, and it's not a requirement. The requirement in the state is that we consider smart planning principles that was put into the Iowa Code back in 2015. We haven't been compliant since then. I think it's 2015, right around there. And so anything that we do, to address that, I think that our current plan meets the law, meets the requirements of the Iowa Code. And so if we updated it, it wouldn't still have to be to their specifications, but using Marty, that's what I guess you're paying for. And so we increased the budget on the planning and zoning this year. I think that we should use that money and not kind of double that, not pay rise. I think that our current plan is sufficient. I think that there's enough resources that are free, you know, that we're using. And I get it. We want a professional to help us. I think that there's some value into doing that and doing it right. But I think it's spending money that we don't need to spend.
Yeah, I was on the board originally, we first got into office, and there's a lot of money they're sitting on. They're Region 6.
Had it been a requirement, it's different.
Yeah.
And then the state is requiring us to do, that's why they didn't require it, because they're not funding it, and the state can't put anything on the counties unless they fund, you know, like as a mandate. Unfunded mandates are not in accordance with Iowa law, so there's no money that comes with it.
And I thought when we did that economic forum, before we entered into the agreement with the Marshalltown, weren't the university going to do the studies?
No, they did Tama, the cities.
The cities.
Yeah.
So they would have done the cities, and
If you go to any other outside agency, I can just tell you that it's over $100,000.
Yeah.
It's closer to 200,000.
Yeah.
And this is 15 or 17, which is so much cheaper.
Right.
I'm just saying that it's not a necessity.
And I think we should wait, like Heather said.
If we talked about maybe,
It may be something we should do later, but I'm not saying commit money now. I agree with you. It would be nice to have right now because it's not mandated. But the concern I have is if we have codes that are referring to something that's not mandated, saying that you have to follow, that's another problem in the bureaucracy, where we've got people making rules that cite something that's not mandatory,
Right.
but trying to make it mandatory.
The other one says suggested, the other says that,
Right.
the other code says you shall follow. And, you know, so it's like, one's a suggest, one's a you shall follow.
that's their own.
Yeah. But I mean, that's the stuff we've got to look at the unintended consequence. I had that discussion with these ladies from the senator's office. We can't go down the path of doing things without checking for unintended consequences. And I don't want to pay money for something that we don't have to have. If it becomes necessary later on, then I think we should consider it.
Yeah, the other, just to be 100% transparent, what it would do, it would speed up our land use plan where we're using the land use plan to address all of our ordinances for the solar, for battery storage, for,
Was it new
data centers,
Yeah.
all for the community solar, all of the moratoriums that we have on right now. This would speed that process up, because we're waiting to write any of those ordinances because we're going to base those off kind of things.
So are you saying we should go down this path or not?
I'm just giving you all of the things to consider. I'm not trying to sway anybody one way or another.
Yeah, I mean, I've talked with like a lot of different people, even like, other economic development people like Jeff Cole, that David and I talked to. Everybody says you gotta have the comprehensive land use plan and you gotta have, you don't have to have it. The next item on here is gonna be like the, strategic plan.
Right.
Those would be two just founding things. Like we're trying to figure out where does Tama County want to go? You know, and it's not completely what we want, it's what do the people want, right? So we don't know that right now. So the biggest thing was, you know, to me, I think we have the extra money, you know, our budgets look pretty good. This year, I think it would be well worth it to understand, does the county want this? Do they want that? Do they not want this? You know, like if the one that we have, you know, if they want to tailor it to that, and we want to just be ag. But if we want this certain thing, we don't want, so I'm okay with waiting till the conversation, you know, between Marty and like when he gets back. But I really feel like it seems like you have a bigger risk of getting lawsuits if you don't have this. It's your top pillar, it's your firm foundation, you know, like you have to have this is where Tama County's going. And then everything else tailors to it. And, you know, Marty's plan, it would take a year with Region 6. So it'd still be a year out, but I feel like you also could get sued if you're not doing anything. So I feel like they're trying to do it. They're volunteers. What can we expect? You know, they're only doing, I think it's 2 times a month they're already meeting, which is a lot for volunteers.
Yeah.
I shouldn't say only, that was a bad word, but, they're trying their best and they have a whole list of stuff. I feel like we can't just sit on all these things forever. I would like to get a comp plan at this reasonable price, look at what does it cost to do a strategic plan, get those in place and then let them roll through these ordinances. Hopefully other counties have ordinances already on some of these moratorium items. You know, some are kind of new. We're hearing a lot about in the news, but let's just start getting some of these done. I feel like we've been in office over a year and a half and I just don't want things to stack up for 3 years and then we get in trouble for that, you know? So it's kind of a catch-20 and Laura and I met with, I think it's called COAS. They had somebody that could do these as well, and the minimum would be 40,000. So we just obviously were like, sorry, we can't do that, you know? So, yeah, that's kind of where we're at, but.
Well, I would agree that at least we wait until the parties sit down with
Yep.
Laura to find out where we really are.
Yep.
Because I know our zoning committee has done a lot of work, a lot of really good work.
Yep.
And I don't want to pay Marty to do stuff that we.
That's right. We don't want to duplicate anything. Yeah. I just wanted to at least get it in front of you guys. This quote's good for 60 days plus we could get it updated, but, I just think these updates on where we're at and, you know, get your guys' feeling on where do we want to go is good. Like I said, I don't want to pay the unfunded mandates, but if it can save us a bunch of litigation money down the road, you know, like again, I don't want to sit and stall. Like we need to follow the right process to get these things done.
And there's a whole bunch of other studies that we need, like with the jail and all those other things that,
Yep.
you know. My concern is that do we end up paying a lot of money for people to tell us where we need to go when we already know some of that?
Yeah, for sure.
But also knowing that there are other, I'll call them demands out there that are looking to use the county's money. We need to be smart on what we spend our money on.
Yeah, just to clarify, I think that our current land use plan would stand any loss.
I agree.
Because it comports with the law,
Okay.
with the island.
Yep.
To update that, that's what we're talking about.
Right.
About updating. We've had our moratorium on for almost
Year and a half.
17 months, something like that, and it's an indefinite moratorium. That is right for a lawsuit, because that's one thing that if you look up what is, I guess what's weak about, or what is somebody going to be sued for for a lawsuit? When you're putting on moratoriums, it's that there's no end date.
Right.
And so we can always bring it back and, put an end date on it. But right now, I think should have this to a lawsuit that is, but if it's because of our land use plan, I think I think we should be addressing that with the current land use plan that you're right. And updated, possibly, that should be looked at.
Yeah, and I think the reason for the indefinite was because we needed to get the
Well,
comprehensive land use plan, and so like that's where I'm like, let's just do it and move on,
And we didn't have any idea of what was coming. I mean, and there's a lot of pressure for all of that data centers and the batteries. We got out ahead of everybody else, and now people are a harder time but almost everybody's got moratorium and everything, so that they can work out their process.
And we can also change the moratorium now based on where our zoning committee's already gotten us. I mean,
Yeah.
they have a good idea.
That wouldn't be bad to bring that back.
I agree. I will voice my concern with the bureaucracy. It takes us too much time to get stuff done because of the bureaucracy that's built in the system, which is good in some ways, and then it's horrible in others. So.
Yeah.
Like a double edged sword.
Yeah, well, what happened? I mean, you're talking billions of dollars.
Yeah.
Get all of our, spend our money, get everything updated, and they'll just take away our authority at the state.
Yeah.
At the federal level, or they can go to the utilities commissioner, they'll bypass us. I mean, this is a small stand for as long as we can.
Yeah. Agreed.
Yep. Okay. Any other discussion? Okay, take no action, if everybody agrees on that. Next item, discussion, possible action to develop a strategic plan for Tama County. I just wanted to see what you guys thought. Like I said, that was recommended. If we're already gonna work on the comp plan, should we also look at that strategic plan? I know we talked about that with University of Northern Iowa when we met with them, so, or just an FYI for you guys, I'm gonna just at least get a quote. What does that even cost? I don't know what that costs. What does it entail? Is it valuable? Just to understand at least if we're building, what's the foundation, where should Tama County go? At least see what that costs, what it entails, and then I can bring it back to you guys.
When we did our economic development study, we had two people, we had two think tanks, the one from, UNI. They
Yeah.
came down and they brought down the guy from Iowa State. All of them economic development professionals, and they had made recommendations to kind of take us off, to get us launched. And now that we're launched, this was the other recommendation that they made.
Yep. So again, that's just kind of, I just want to put on there at least as a discussion item.
I'll quote my father, if you don't know where you're going, any road can get you there. So.
Yep.
We've got to have a plan, and there's a lot of factors. I mean, there's more factors than we even consider in our strategic plan. There's a lot of things that we aren't looking at that need to be looked at. So I would say get the quote, send where we gotta go.
Yeah,
Yeah, do you need a motion for that?
probably not. I mean, it's just more fact finding. I just wanted to at least discuss it with you guys, unless you feel like we do, but I'll just bring it back when I have actual information.
I think we're good for.
Yeah. And I think on all these too, sometimes when they're tossed around it, we're setting the tone for the next 10 to 15 years. So if you wrap that cost, even that last one, if you wrap 15,000, 17,000 into a 10-year plan, like we're not gonna change it every year, it makes it sound a little more affordable too, so.
True.
And this we'd go kind of into two budgets a little bit too, which would also help a little bit, so. Okay, we'll take no action on that one. Discussion possible action, project engineer closeout assistance contract with Calhoun Burns and Associates. This one as well, I want to at least get in front of you guys. So we need to have an engineer that's licensed in order to closeout projects. And so we have 3 projects right now. I guess there's 4 total. One of them's already with Calvin Burns in the city. And then these other 3 are pretty much just ready to be closed out. You have to have an engineer on site to do that. So I talked to Nikki with the DOT. We can either use Calvin Burns. The cost is in there of what it would cost roughly, which seems pretty steep to me. I guess I've been calling around to different counties. I guess my thought is I would prefer to take another week or 2. She said we had about 2 to 3 weeks till we needed to get someone retained, whether it's a interim engineer or to get Calvin Burns or someone like them. I feel like we should give it a week or 2. I mean, if anyone wants to help me, just start calling people. I mean, we can use any county in Iowa. It doesn't have to touch us, obviously. That would be nice, but we've gotten no's on all those. So, I would prefer we wait with spending the money right now on the, roughly 30,000. I'd rather just wait and see if we could retain someone interim. It'd be a lot cheaper, but I'd like to bring it back in like a week or 2. But you guys let me know your thoughts. I want to make sure we're compliant. It sounds like we have a year before we would be not compliant. We're at that kind of 6 months time period. So when we get into like 9 months, we're getting a little tight, But yeah, just wanted to at least see what you guys thought on that and get it in front of you.
My thought is I've talked to 2 other engineers already now, and they don't wanna do it. This is something that Nick left behind, so I assume that this isn't, it isn't necessarily on the top of everybody's fun list of what they wanna do. This should have been closed out when I was here.
It should have been done, right?
And it wasn't, so in my opinion, I don't think we're gonna find anybody. I called even somebody who was, would apply for, for the position that we, to close these projects out. Yeah. No.
So it's not fun.
No interest.
What's the issue? They just don't want to do it? It's
Well,
a lot of work.
It's the busy
Right.
handcuffed to a computer for hours.
Gotcha. I didn't know if we just weren't ready yet when Nick was here. I guess I didn't know.
No, I think it just, I actually think it could have been closed out when Ben was here.
Yeah.
Oh,
Let me repeat, it should have been closed out when Ben.
Yeah.
really? Okay. So yeah, I mean, we definitely have it. If
And
we
I
want to approve it, we
I
can
think we just,
move forward.
I'm okay with that. We're not paying an engineer right now, so I'm okay with paying them.
Yeah, there's that money freed up from not having it.
And it comes out of that, out of the secondary roof.
And plus, it'll look good for us complying to them too.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're saying, so
I mean, I'll make that motion that we accept this contract and just close these jobs out.
I'll second that.
Motion and second. Any other discussion?
Authorize the chair to sign.
That's
Add that in there. Thank you.
I'll add that to my second.
Okay. Any other discussion? You good?
Good.
Okay. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
And I know we've done a bunch of work with Calvin Burns, so.
Yeah. Yep. They do a good job.
They're the ones that did the one that's already done.
Yeah.
We hired them to do it, right?
Yep.
Yep.
So they
We
covers
had
all
it.
4 of them? So this
Yeah.
covers all 4 of them?
Yep, they would have all 4, and then we would have, a construction engineer like Shane would be listed on there, because you have to have somebody local too, and so you would likely be that person to do that, since that's his role. Okay. Next item, discussion approved claims.
We have claims in the amount of 120, 360 period 47. So $120,360.47. Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Motion and second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. New business, discussion possible action, supervisor reports. Anybody have anything to go over for today from their meetings or boards?
I do. Last week, we deployed all the printers, some printers gone from this room. That was done on schedule. And we're, saving a lot more money.
Very good.
That's all you got. I got some stuff out the landfill, right, a few pieces of equipment, they're on a pretty good program out there of, about 6 years of running this stuff, and it's really cut a lot of costs of the, repair bills and stuff, so. I think you got getting a new Ranger out there, they use it for driving all over and checking everything, so. And picking up trash, so that's good, then gonna be doing a shop expansion out there, just so everybody's aware. Our bow mag and stuff like that's too tall, doesn't fit in our, well, it fits in our current shop, but you can't open it up and work on it, so if someone comes out, we gotta pull it outside. So we're looking at, we had a special meeting last week on Thursday to approve the building materials and the building labor to get that locked in, because they were looking at a 6 to 8% increase coming up here in August, so that's kind of where that's at in a nutshell. Other than my road report and that, that's about all I got.
I attended a mental health meeting over in Marshalltown just to see what resources are going. There's a lot of stuff, a lot of things shifting from the state's restructured reorganization locally. I think that the providers are now kind of aligning with what they're naturally, because that's where the money goes. When they get control of what the services are. So I'm going to be looking at that a little bit more about trying to secure more mental health resources for Tama County in the future. I'm wanting that to be part of the discussion with public health as well. And since Senator Ernst is retiring and we have a licensed therapist, I believe, around here.
We have a what?
Not yet, sir.
Not yet. I worked with her before, but she has her master's in counseling.
Thought that was you. Good to see you again, sir.
We're gonna recruit her to come whenever Senator Ernst retires.
Well, that's nice.
Come to Tama County. It's beautiful here.
It is, I'm
It
impressed.
depends on if you think I like the weeds. I like the pretty flowers and come up in it, you know, like
Well,
just the.
close to her, so I'm gonna be on her side right now. You know, I've never even been, I'm from Polk County. I've never even been invited to a Polk County meeting, so I'm really impressed. Rochelle's right, it's real fun. So
Good to see you.
good to see you.
Anything else?
What? New business kind of, well, where are we at on the engineer? Did we offer that to?
We've had a couple, back and forth request more money.
Okay.
And so we're, right now, still have somebody retaining.
Okay.
Well,
I thought we were at that point.
He's building a house and moving and closing down an office in Illinois. And so that's why we would have to have somebody after we close these projects out. There's no money at risk losing from the federal or state.
Okay.
Yeah, not till February 1 year, so.
So we should be able to get through the season and get him started.
That was the big ticket item, was to make sure it wasn't losing any funding.
Anything else? Okay. Supervisor reports. Let's go ahead and open back up public comments. Is there any more public comments? Okay, Karen.
I'm gonna speak now to the flowers, since I've already spoken on weeds. So I agree, some of the flowers along the road are very beautiful. I like the colors of, non-intrusive clover and alfalfa as well. However, when you start talking about the white ones that are 4 feet tall, nothing can eat them. They're highly, allergenic to just about anybody. You can break out. You can have sinus problems. They're just about anybody cannot be around them. They're very lethal, but, so when you're talking about weeds versus flowers, some explode all over the county rapidly within like 2 years. Some, like pretty blue ones, alfalfa clover, the purple ones, they stay pretty much in the same location year after year after year after year. So there's a very big difference between something that is intrusive, invasive versus something that is just out there for pretty and beauty. And since it's the county residents that have to deal with all of this, it doesn't really apply to people that live in town because they don't care. They have their yards mowed down to 2 inches once a week, no matter what. They don't have anything in there that's invasive or intrusive. So there is a huge difference. I agree. I'd like to see the pretty stuff too, but not when it explodes and nothing can eat a cow, goat, sheep, nothing. So that's a really dangerous plant. So that's just my closing statement on beauty versus toxic.
I agree, and I think she's probably talking about poison hemlock, the big one. And that is a bad weed. The trouble is if you spray or cut, spray anything, you kill it all. And that's the problem. The poison hemlock, if that's what you're talking about, Karen, that big tall stuff. I ran into that and it's like poison ivy. And it could really knock you flat. It did me. I didn't know what it was and I was taking care of it at home in my own yard and I didn't know what it was, and I was just whacking away and boy, did I learn a lesson. So there is bad stuff out there. But it's just hard to differentiate the two.
Well, so
I'm speaking of the roadside, the pretty blue things, whatever.
yeah, I know you were. They are beautiful. And they don't spread. I was talking about the wild carrot and wild.
I know, yeah,
And
there's bad stuff.
you can do spot spraying and spot mowing to
Yeah,
control a lot of that stuff, like we used to,
yeah,
5-10 years ago.
yeah.
You and I have lived out this county for a very, very,
Yeah.
very long time.
One of the first things that we do is we pass a resolution, we identify all the noxious weeds in the county, and then we have somebody hired to take care of them. And so whatever else you would, what else would you want for us to do?
So I drive all over the northern half of the county, from here on north.
Now, like what other action can we do as?
What I just said, spraying, spot spraying.
You want me to go spray? I don't have any witches.
Oh, what I want you 5 guys to do? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah.
So whoever's heading up the county roads and that department right now, send them out there to start spot spraying and spot weed mowing just right away before all this stuff goes.
Are we not doing it? We're doing that, okay.
Then where?
We mow and spread.
I think they've
Oh,
got
you're
Big
wrong.
Ladbrook, Lincoln.
I don't know where they're at right now, I can
And,
find out.
What was the other area? They're up in
I know they've
Cornish.
done quite a bit on V18 spraying, and there's a lot of dead everything over there. Our mower guys are mowing their own routes, so, like, I know in District 1, on the east side, that we did all our mowing right away, because we only have so many mower tractors, so they're displaced.
So is there like not very, how many more tractors and drivers do we have?
We got 3 tractors. Well, 4. And then we alternate them through whoever's maintaining the road, they're required to mow this year. Also,
Is anybody doing K Avenue?
it's whoever's blade operation, that route is, they mowed it. Should have been mowed already, but it might have been early. But I can find out.
Thank you.
Okay, I think, did Bob have one first, or you, let's,
Yeah, you can go ahead.
are you sure? Okay, I go ahead.
We just got online, Jake Buchanan.
Yep.
On the strategic plan.
Yep.
He'd be happy to do some preliminary steps, learn about pricing, et cetera. When it comes to contacting, you and I or ISU about.
Okay, that sounds great. Yeah, they've been very helpful too on both the comp plan and the strategic plan
Yeah,
as
that's
well,
kind
so.
of his, if we approve it, he would be the one doing that anyway, because that's
Yeah.
his forte, we pay him for.
Yeah. Yep.
Thank you, Jake.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, thanks. This is not to start an argument or anything, it's just for information. Every June, board members come up for, planning and zoning and, the other boards, sometimes things come up for, like Department of Health. What is the policy going to be from here on? There was a big concern before when everybody wanted to put out in the paper, applications, interviews, all of that. What's it gonna be from here on? What do we expect? Where do we need to look if there's, every June when there's openings? We're just gonna mention it in the meeting and then people can apply, or is there anything in the paper? Or, I know the Board of Supervisors can just pick a person if they want. They can do whatever they want, or they can get rid of somebody in the middle of it and appoint somebody else. What's the policy gonna be? What do we expect here in the future? Now that's gonna be.
Yeah, I think it's something we'll have to discuss. I know we do have on the supervisor's page, we got like an updated application form. It can be filled out at any time and I think it's kept for like a year. So if there's things people are interested of, I know we mentioned it in the supervisor reports a few times to make sure people knew it was coming and we're working on getting, because before it was like, it switched to a job application, which some people are like, is that great, you know, to give like, this is where I worked and this is my you know, like, we don't care about all that when it's a volunteer position, you know? So yeah, I think that's something we can discuss moving forward. I think quite a few of them are June 30th, but there's a few that are, is it January too? There might be a few. So it's something we could just look at the full list and figure out what the best plan is. But for sure, if it's under the supervisors, it's on our website. And anytime, if there's like, hey, this is coming up in 6 months or in a year and I'm interested, just put in an application anytime and send us an email too, would be great.
And if, you know, somebody resigns mid-year or whatever, you know, how they're gonna be, so people get to know. I mean, not everybody's watching the meetings or getting the paper or anything.
For sure.
You know, what's gonna be the best way, you know, put it out there as much as you can on social media or whatever.
Yeah.
So people. know.
Yeah, going forward, I can put as an agenda item, you know, just to make sure that everybody knows, because if it's on the agenda, at least they could easily look at that. You know?
Right, then they know it's out to the public, might can have it noted in the paper.
Exactly.
It's in the meeting.
Yep, yeah, we can just easily, I mean,
So people
my thought, it's an easy way to fix, just put as an
Yeah,
agenda.
the issue is like advertising for all kinds of, if we're having a harder time getting anybody, we would obviously have to advertise for it. And I think that the demand for people to come, we didn't have a problem with that before. We had multiple people for one position. And now we're having to really pull teeth to try to get people to come. And since we already had people that were interested without advertising in the paper and spending money, that's kind of why we went that way.
And it costs, and there's nothing that says that it has to be put in the paper, and it's a cost, but if it can be put out in other ways as much as possible, so people know.
Yeah.
I understand, you don't even have to do that, you can just find somebody on your own and ask them if you want, but it is best that it goes out to the public as much as possible. If anybody's interested, if they're not, they're not.
Yep. Thank you. Yep.
You got Michelle with her, Hannah.
Oh, go ahead, Sean.
Stacy Zeman says, just saying, one county man spent 4.5 hours on a half-mile section last month mowing. A snail moved faster. I also have been spraying, attempting to mow and weeds since the mower and sprayer has not been past my house yet. There are some corners that the weeds are tall enough that it is a safety issue. You can't see traffic coming before you pull out. Perhaps it is me that I sit too short in the truck seat. Thank you.
Stacy.
Thank you.
If I may, please, I just want to share it as you were sharing things too. I want to appreciate the fact that, Casey, your sheriff's department, that I live an hour east and I can at least look online and I can see what's going on in Tama County.
Yep.
And the hard work, the things that they are doing, to protect and serve. And then also, one thing I do for Senator Grassley is during, weather season especially, I'm in touch with the EMAs and Ryan is really good. I let them know, don't respond to me right away when, you know, things calm down, but if there's anything the senator can do to reach out, Ryan is always he responds at some point, letting me know that things are good, or where the flooding is. So thank you to both of those departments.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's interesting that you bring up Casey's, Facebook page, because I was officiating the funeral up in Des Moines, and the guy that was bringing me to the cemetery to do final rites said, I want you guys to supervise. Because we got to talking, he said, well, because I told him I was a supervisor, but oh yeah, Casey Schmidt, but he grew up around here, so, but he keeps connected. I thought that was pretty neat.
Yeah. All right, thank you. Anybody else, public comments? Okay, we'll close public comments. I believe we got everything unless anybody has anything else.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion and a second, all in favor, second.
Aye.
Opposed, we are adjourned at 9:19 a.m. Thank you.
Like you.
Well, Bell, Wednesday.
Yes. Street.
It's gonna be a fun.
Yeah.
Anything new over here?
Yeah, she just had it set on my
I got
desk.
some, you know, and there were meetings there.
Let's do it all.
No, we were there, here's the last one.
How are you? I just took mine, home with my stuff last week. Yeah, so-
There's a lot of.
Like this one.
Water.
Thank you.
I heard
Well,
Water.
I know. Like I said, it's blue.
We don't have any water. One bottle, I need water.
Every week. I plan to, but I guess I can't. I need it right up. It dies in 11 meetings.
You know, yeah, and.
Well, we hear about, was that here this week? Was that here though?
Job.
So I said, listen, she's the supervisor.
But it could have been them then. It would be all. And of course, they put the young man that came there